um, 35 more minutes, seconds. No. Seconds, so we will start the meeting. Someone, could you let me know when we have a quorum?
I will do that. We're very close.
Okay, thank you. Wait, we have one, two, three. I don't have to quorum, so it's on.
When you just not done. That's when just not done.
All right, I think we're ready. We do have a quorum now, I believe, Commissioner.
Okay, so could you do the roll call, please?
Of course. I do want to remind folks that we are live streaming and recording this meeting. Both of those have started already. Jerry Abrahams. Cindy Butts. Wendy Clark.
Here.
Phil DeFranzo.
Here.
Heidi DeWeingart.
Here.
Claudio Gualtieri. Timothy Hodges.
Here.
Kathy McKinnon.
Here.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno.
Here.
Commissioner Perez.
Here.
Franklin Perry. Matt Puglisi. Chelsea Ross. Sarah Sanders. Lisa Tepper Bates. Greg Ugalde.
Here.
With 8 members present, I believe we do have a quorum for the meeting.
Thank you, Dawn. Could you proceed with the public comments?
Yes. This is the only opportunity on the agenda for the public to provide comments. If you would like to provide a comment, please unmute yourself and state your name, or if you're in the room, please let us know. To ensure that everyone has the opportunity, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Hearing no comments, the public comment period has now ended. Commissioner, I'll return the meeting to you.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope that you are having fun with the summer that came really quick. But we can't complain, right? We complain during the winter, so we might as well enjoy. Our first item is the reports from Nandini.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I want to start off my report by updating the board about a scam that has become, we've become aware of. Hello? That we've become aware of, where a fraudulent Facebook page was created impersonating CHFA. It's happening all around the country. It's you know, what they call phishing or other types of scamming. And so we're handling it. I wanted to make the board aware. We've updated the news media. We've put out press release. We're calling TV stations. Unfortunately, one of the byproducts of this scam is that that there was a flyer that was making the rounds, alerting people that that CHFA had opened a waiting list for Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program, and to either click on a link, which of course would lead the person to perhaps provide sensitive information, or to come to CHFA. So we've had some individuals show up here to make application to the program. So we are you know, doing everything in our power. We'll work with DOH as well to get the word out and provide Spanish translations as well, and alert people to contact the authorities, Department of Consumer Protection, Attorney General's office if needed, if they have been fraudulently you know, I don't know what the word is, but provided information that they shouldn't have, that was confidential or PII. So this kind of stuff apparently is happening. It does happen, you know, everywhere, and we're handling it. I just wanted to make the board aware of that. For the rest of my report, I want to provide a brief update about a developer luncheon that CHFA and DOH organized In mid-June, we had about 45 developers, some consultants, some architects, some builders, and housing authorities attended. It was extremely positive and productive meeting and conversation. We were hoping to get some feedback from them about their recent experiences with CHFA and DOH, but also solicit their input into recent industry trends and how they were negotiating these, or if they had any ideas that they wanted to give us. So just some of the key takeaways were the developers reported generally positive experiences with us in recent months. Improvements in the DOH and CHFA closing processes were mentioned. And there was some discussion around training around our the application process, and which we would, we hope to provide in the coming months. In terms of issues and trends, construction pricing continues to be an issue. Materials, especially electrical switchgear, is something that continues to be problematic, and it can be a problem on one deal, but not another. And unfortunately, fortunately, it's not a Connecticut problem, it's a nationwide problem. We talked a lot about costs and controlling costs. Unfortunately, there's not a silver bullet just yet, but there was good discussion about, how to look at simplifying both the process, but also architectural drawings between different iterations of phases or buildings. And this is an area where both CHFA and DOH are going to continue to challenge the development community to see if we can make progress. Operating expenses continue to be running very high, with the triad: taxes, property taxes, insurance, and utilities being the major reasons. And the insurance piece is particularly troubling and problematic. Lack of insurers in the affordable housing space, coupled with increased claims activity and losses, along with higher replacement values, are all leading to double-digit increases in property insurance. And we were asked to seek solutions with the insurance industry, and we're going to keep working on that issue with the commissioner. For the moment, I think there was some conversation around how the developers are compensating for these increases with higher deductibles, decreased coverages, et cetera. And we're looking at the possibility of creating an insurance loss reserve that might, of course, to the extent there is surplus cash, to cover the deductible or a loss. So in summary, a very good meeting. We feel it opened the dialogue once again after COVID between the agencies and the development community, and we hope to keep it going with another meeting this fall. So stay tuned. And then I'm going to have Pat provide a brief update to the board about the resolution that was tabled last month.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. William Warner, which was presented and then tabled last month. We've had some conversations with the first selectman from the town of Woodbridge. Woodbridge has decided that they are going to reconsider their approval of Mr. Smith as a person to assume the existing lease. And as such, we can't continue forward with that any longer. We're working with the town of Woodbridge and John Capone, the owner of the property, to identify a new, hopefully nonprofit owner to come in and take over the property. We'll keep you updated as to the progress on that. In terms of the lawsuits, Commissioner Perez had asked that we take a look at them, and we did so, even though we're not continuing forward with Mr. Smith. There were a total of 57 lawsuits. 50 of them were plaintiff lawsuits seeking payment of outstanding debts. The remaining 7 were defendant lawsuits, 5 of which were withdrawn, and the 2 remaining lawsuits, one was a contract claim, and The other was for improperly removing stuff from a storage locker. So nothing with regard to discrimination. So I just wanted to report that we did look through all the lawsuits and we didn't find anything of any concern.
Thank you, Pat. Any comments or questions for Nandini on her report on, and or for Pat?
Hey, Steve, it's Tim Hodges. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. Nandi, just really quickly, you mentioned fraud at the top of the comments, and I guess the impression that I got was that you're focused in on this one. Obviously, this might be the first, but it won't be the last. So I guess my question is, what is the authority doing kind of much broader in terms of fraud? Or is this something that we're just looking at as an isolated incident?
So I think fraud can be manifested in very many different ways. The kind that I was talking about today is sort of phishing or scamming. And so we take that very seriously. We provide, in terms of protecting our organization and employees against fraud, we provide training on an annual basis. We provide refresher training on a quarterly basis. And we test the environment regularly with providing employees the opportunity to respond to phishing or other types of scams and via email. And then, they're set up specifically to test the environment. So we've done a number of things in the last couple of years to tighten up our internal controls and our ability to monitor and ensure that our organization stays protected from, hackers and others who would be looking to take advantage of employees and others within the organization.
So that's helpful. I think my question is more, and I think internally it certainly makes a lot of sense. My question is more related to customers or potential customers. I mean, you've got the banking commissioner on.
Tim?
To look at techniques and processes to help ensure that our potential or current customers are not taken advantage of as well. It's just a question more than anything else, but their problem becomes our problem, and I'm wondering if there are things that we should be looking at to be a little more active.
Thank you. Yes, Tim, that's very important. I think that the authority is taking a look at both, not just internally, but also the customers. But Commissioner Perez, you have your hand up.
Yes, I do. And my question is also around the phishing / what I'm going to call cybersecurity. Do we have cybersecurity insurance, Nadine?
We do. We do.
Maybe worthwhile to have somebody who handles that for us to get a little familiar with it, especially if we ever get any claims from any clients, or whatever you want to call them, clients, customers, taxpayers, homeowners, whatever we call them, that any of their information was breached, not necessarily because we voluntarily did that, but because the bad actors got hold of it. Because, like you stated, this is something that's happening a lot, and because of it, there's been a lot of lawsuits, including, not that I want to. I'm not going to name banks because I get in trouble when I name banks. Then I get calls from the CEO saying, "Why do you highlight me?" But including some major banks are being sued over this issue, and similar issues where somehow they got hold of their website or got access to an employee email, and bad things happen. So like you stated, it's happening everywhere. We don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So the best thing we can do is be prepared for if it really blows up, either because of a lawsuit or because we do find out that we have any clients that were impacted on it. We have to provide things like, credit monitoring and so forth. And I have offered this in the past, and I'll offer it again, and I'll leave it at that. My department does have experts in this area. We do use particular techniques, including one called security scorecard, to review, and grade the cybersecurity efforts of our banks, credit unions, mortgage companies, security brokers, like Merrill Lynch and others like that, which are humongous. They got more people working in this area than we have employees. And we still get to opine on their cybersecurity. So that offer stands again. I'm not saying that we will be able to stop it, but at least we will be able to highlight if we feel there's any kind of weaknesses or any areas that need strengthening.
Thank you for that. And I wanted to mention that we do, the cybersecurity insurance company does review our policies and procedures upon renewal. And we can certainly place a call to them and let them know about this particular event. And,
well, I wouldn't call them up unless our policy requires that, because to the best of my knowledge, based on what you say, no information has been breached. This is somebody mimicking that they're us. What we need to make sure is that we do everything we can to prevent it from happening, and that this didn't happen because of any flaws in our internal controls. And that's something our own internal auditors can look at.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Commissioner, because right now is the time for prevention, right? So I think that Hassan and Anthony can access your resources as another set of eyes and another opinion. But thank you.
I'm simply sure you did an extra effort, that's all. It's not going to guarantee you it's not going to happen.
be clear, there's no breach of our systems or anything like that. We're talking about third parties who may be, scammed into providing key information, confidential information. And I understand what you're saying, that there may be third-party claims against us because they've been manipulated into believing that this was CHFA. And I understand what
And
you're
look,
saying.
this week New Haven announced, right? And they thought it was a totally different thing. And they did find out that 400 taxpayers, information was breached. And it took them a year to figure that out after they knew something happened, right? So they made an announcement in his press release this week, and they're going to have to do credit monitoring and some other stuff, right? So again, you may not know something happened, and nobody may know that. And that's why the insurance policy is important. The other question I have is, does CHFA employees participate in the monthly DAS cybersecurity training that's online?
I don't know.
We get an email. And it sounds like it's almost every month. It's like every 4 or 5 weeks. So it may not be every month.
We do have our own cybersecurity training that we ensure all employees complete, but I do not believe we participate in the DAS agency one.
You may want to look into that because it's free. They are still state employees, even though we're quasi. And the fact that they do it more often keeps it more on the employees' mind. It does not mean that we still don't have employees that respond to emails that they shouldn't be responding to, blah, 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 blah. But it's another effort that you could show you're doing everything you can. And they do keep track of it. You can assign it to someone and tell you who all the employees are, who's supposed to take it, who hasn't taken it, And it's something, Salem may be familiar with it because, I know her department is part of it, so is mine. Even I have to take it. And if I don't, I get in what I call the rat sheet, right? That says, you didn't take it.
I was behind 6 months.
So, and they're very short. They normally don't last more than 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but they're very helpful because it keeps you focused on it.
We can look into it and we'll continue.
And it's totally online.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other, is that it, Commissioner? Anybody
Yes,
else?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments for Nandini or Pat? All right, so moving on. Finance Committee has been having fun in the summer, so they don't have any items to take actions. Hassan, could you just give us a brief for the board members?
Sure. So this morning, one of the items was to discuss a recent sale that we did for a multifamily transaction And here we have in the office with us, presenting on behalf of Morgan Stanley, who was the lead manager for that sale. So we had a good discussion dialogue with committee members in terms of the transaction, explaining why we got the result that we received. And then later on during committee, we did discuss about the monthly financial performance and the impact of higher production to the cost to the servicing fee, along with when we talked about production in itself. Committee wanted to receive some updates in terms of production for single family where it occurred throughout the state. So one of the things that we're going to do in the following months is to include a map and to provide a bit more color. And this is the same presentation that we have provided to the mortgage committee. So we're just going to provide a similar report and an update to finance committee in the following months.
And you're gonna share a link.
Yeah, and then today I could send out the link to all board members of the map where our production has been located in the last X number of months, and we'll provide that.
And they can just go in and check if they want to, or this is just a one time.
We'll figure out a way to
Okay.
make it so it's something that the board members can access.
Okay. Thank you, Hassan. Any questions or comment? Commissioner Perez, your hand is still up. Is that from before? I think it's from before. Okay. Moving on, mortgage committee, we have two items that we need to take action, and the first one is going to be presented by Pat.
Good morning again. At Tuesday's mortgage committee meeting, Deb Alter stepped in for Trayvon Perry to present a request for financing for West Ridge in New Haven. The request was for the approval of a construction to permanent financing for up to $12.7 million and a construction to permanent second mortgage of up to $1 million. The first mortgage will have a two-note structure with a construction note of approximately $4.7 million, interest only at a rate of up to 6.25% for 24 months, and a permanent note of approximately $8 million at a rate of up to 7.25%, interest only for the first 24 months, and then amortizing over 40 years over a 35-year term. The second mortgage of $1 million will have an interest rate of 1%, which will be payable during interest only during the initial 24-month term, and then accrue for the remaining 35-year term payable with 25% of adjusted cash flow after the payment of deferred developer fee. Westridge received a 9% LIHTC award in 2023. The financing will help fund the construction of 64 new units of elderly and young disabled housing in a 7-story building and the renovation of an historic 3-bedroom home that's already on site. 14 of the units will be at or below 25% AMI, 12 units at or below 30% AMI, 26 units at or below 50% AMI, and 13 of the units will be unrestricted. In addition to the requested loan amounts, the financing structure includes $14.8 million in 9% tax credit equity, $4 million in DOH state funds, $2 million in DOH federal funds, $1 million from the city of New Haven, $1.6 million in developer cash equity, $1.6 million in deferred fee, and $488,000 in energy rebates. Mortgage committee members unanimously approved the financing request. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Pat. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution presented by Pat?
So moved, it's Heidi.
Have a second.
Second,
Any comment?
Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Any comments or questions? Okay, Dawn, could you do roll call, please?
Of course. Jerry Abrahams, Jerry, I'll come back to you. Cindy
I'm
Butts.
here.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me try again. Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Thank
Hear
you.
me. Aye. Sorry.
You're fine. Cindy Butts. Wendy Clark.
Yes.
Phil DeFranzo. Heidi DeWeingart.
Sorry, Phil DeFranco was yes. I apologize. I was on mute.
It's all right. Thank you, Phil. Heidi, I think I heard you say aye as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
Thank you. Claudio Gualtieri. Timothy Hodges.
Aye.
Kathy McKinnon.
Aye.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Franklin Perry. Matt Puglisi.
Yes.
Chelsea Ross. Sarah Sanders. Lisa Tepper Bates.
Aye.
Greg Ugalde.
Aye.
The vote passes unanimously.
Motion carries. Thank you, Tom. The second resolution is regarding the mobile manufactured home loans and refinancing program revisions. And Lisa, you're gonna present that resolution?
Yes,
Thank you.
good morning. It is still morning, yes.
Still.
Staff is recommending that the Board of Directors approve the merging of the mobile home manufactured home loan program and the mobile manufactured home refinancing program into a single program, and the proposed revisions to help improve accessibility for Connecticut residents to acquire an affordable home or lower their housing costs. It's some of the main changes that we want to make is some of the enhancements, well, I'll call them enhancements, would be the loan to value. We would like to increase that from the current 80% requirement to 100%. We want to limit the loan amount to $150,000. If someone is purchasing a home that costs more than that, they would have to pay the difference in down payment. We also, we used to have two separate rates for the programs. We just want to set one rate not to exceed 3%. And the loan term would be 15 or 30 years. As you know, the financing of mobile and manufactured homes has become a rising priority in the state. In addition to the Mobile Home Advisory Council, of which one of the goals is to prioritize broader use of mobile homes as affordable housing. Last year, the General Assembly established a mobile home financing working group to expand access to financing for mobile homes. Based on our current program's down payment requirement, a home buyer purchasing a manufactured home for $114,000, which is our average current sales price, could be expected to pay almost $30,000 combined between down payment and closing costs at settlement. This is virtually impossible for most low to moderate income borrowers. With a 0% down payment requirement, these borrowers would still be required to come up with almost $7,000. So there would still be an investment made into this transaction. If we consider the highest loan size permitted under the enhanced program of $150,000, the payments would range anywhere from $1,182 to $1,482, which includes the insurance, taxes, and the lot rent, up to $700, which is much more reasonable than the median rent of $2,000 per month in the state of Connecticut. Additionally, when calculating using our actual average sales price of $114,000, the payment would be even less. This was submitted to Mortgage Committee, and after discussions about the loan structure and the possibility of cash out refinancing, it was approved unanimously. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Lisa. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution presented by Lisa?
So moved, Wendy.
Second.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions or comments?
I just want to say, when Lisa went through all the provisions, the committee, the mortgage committee, was very supportive and saw this as being a needed tool in the housing affordability arena, because there's so little space and there's so little opportunity for home rental or ownership in this area. And this is something that we're hoping will really grow and catch on. It's not super popular in Connecticut, yet as it is in other parts of the country, but it shows promise. So we're hoping that this becomes a viable tool moving forward.
Thank you, Greg. Any other comment? Hearing none, John, could you please do roll call?
Of course. Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Cindy Butts, Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Phil DeFranco,
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart,
Aye.
Claudio Gualtieri, Timothy Hodges,
Aye.
Kathy McKinnon,
Aye.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Franklin Perry, Matt Puglisi,
Yes.
Chelsea Ross, Sarah Sanders, Lisa Tepper Bates,
Aye.
Greg Ugalde.
Aye.
The vote passes unanimously.
Thank you, Don, motion carries, and thank you, Lisa and staff, many, and has in, simplifying programs always helps, making it one program and allowing for more people to take advantage of it, so, because sometimes we have programs that people cannot access. Thank you for doing that. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Ken,
Jerry seconds.
second.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Bring on, John, could you do roll call?
Yes. Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Cindy Butts, Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Phil DeFranco,
Yes.
Heidi DeWeingart,
Aye.
Claudio Gualtieri, Timothy Hodges,
Aye.
Kathy McKinnon,
Aye.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Franklin Perry, Matt Puglisi,
Yes.
Chelsea Ross, Sarah Sanders, Lisa Tepper Bates,
Aye.
Greg Ugalde.
Aye.
The vote passes unanimously.
Thank you, Don. So that's the end of the agenda, but any board members have any questions, want to bring anything to the staff? We have a few minutes. Or do you all want to go home?
I would just like to say, on the residential side, I think it's great that everybody's continuing to get out there. I noticed on the board packet that there was a lot of television coverage on time to own, and it's just so important. I saw a stupid story, but I'm getting my hair cut and somebody didn't even know time to own existed. And so it's just such a great thing that the staff is getting out there and promoting it, because, you know, like my wife always says to me, like, we do this every day and we think everybody understands and knows what's out there. And it's so cool that they're still promoting that Fermata, because it's amazing. So I just wanted to congratulate them and say that's awesome, and keep up the great good work on that.
Thank you, and I have to also mention that my deputy commissioner did a time to own at his barber shop. And he had about 20 people. A competition there, but yeah, no, so he's doing it in places where people goes and they have a space.
True.
So people coming in just to hear time to own. Thank you, Phil. Any other comments or questions or?
Just real quick, I want to applaud the work that the staff's putting in. It's amazing how complicated the capital stacks are on all the deals that we have to review and piece together, and the monitoring that's needed. It's double, triple the work on deals these days, and it's so important that we keep up the work and getting the deals through the door, and they're doing that. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Greg. A lot of work going on and a lot of committed staff. And creativity, because we need to have to be creative sometimes and also build a relationship with the other partners. But you're right. So we'll thank all the staff for that. Last comment or just suggestions? All right, so Wendy, I'm so sorry for your team that lost against Ecuador.
Oh, Commissioner,
Yes.
Terrible, terrible.
I do have a question. Are we, Nandy, for Nandini, are you going to reschedule the expected a board retreat?
Yeah, so the way we're doing it, maybe I didn't mention it, but one of the things the board said, I think back in November, was that you wanted to hear more about what we were considering and doing, kind of like in board meetings. And so we kind of brought a couple of discussion items to you, like student loan was last month or the month before, and then last month we did the mobile manufactured home. So and then of course, we're working feverishly behind the scenes to try to get more ideas, more creativity, innovation, stuff like that. But yes, in short, the answer is yes, looking more towards the latter part of the year. Because because we'll have more to talk about as well.
So we're looking at probably the fall.
Yeah.
So. Yes, we
That
will,
answers your question.
we will work on that. All right, so thank you, everyone. Oh, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So
No,
moved. This is
no,
George.
sorry. The second,
Second.
Second. There we go.
all those in favor say yay. Okay,
Aye.
Yay.
Hey,
Aye.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.